Well, good evening, everybody, C3, friends, family, guests, anyone who is watching this evening, and welcome to the Color of Love, the special Mother's Day edition. I am so excited. We've got some things up our sleeves tonight. We're going to be talking about motherhood. And if you don't know me, I am your host tonight. I'm a daughter and a mother, but tonight I'm going to be your host. And my name is Dr. Leslie Francisco Mcclendon, and I serve as the senior pastor of C3, a Calvary Community Church in the beautiful city of Hampton, Virginia. And I have some amazing guests with me today, and I'm so excited to see where this is headed. And so, to show you my guests tonight, I want to do some quick introductions. And the first person I'm going to bring up, she is no stranger to you all. This is my sister. Let's bring her up to the stage really quickly and introduce yourself. And tell us a little bit about you, and then do us a favor and introduce our mother.
Okay. Hello, C3. My name is Nicole Francisco Bailey to be exact. And I once was an only child for 5 whole years. But since that time, I have gained 2 other siblings by the name of Leslie, as you see here, and Lauren. I am the favorite child, so that's why I'm the one that's up here today. And I am 36 years old. And you told me to tell a little bit about myself, but y'all know me. So let me introduce my mom. Mom, she is the best mom in the universe, okay? She is the person that will keep it straight, but at the same time, she is so refined. So I want to introduce the best mother, Dr. Natalie Andrea Francisco. Come to the stage, please.
Hey.
Hey, Mom.
So glad to be with you all. Hey, my daughters, -1.
Hey, Mom / Dr. Nat, will you do us a favor and just dismiss what Nicole said earlier about her being the favorite child, please?
Yes, they are all equally loved and equally our favorites, but every one of them will tell you they are our favorite child. That's just
and
truth.
only one of us knows the truth. Amen.
They all say
that. Come on. Okay.
Well, we have several other guests that are going to be with us tonight.
Yeah.
I want to introduce my brother. You already know who he is. Not only is he my brother, I found out that he's actually my cousin in a sense. But this is Chris Cox. We call him PC, Pastor Chris. Come up on the screen. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pastor Chris, better known as PC. I am the youth and young adults pastor here at C3 Hampton, the best church on the peninsula. And I'm a little biased today because I actually have the best mother in the world coming on
right now.
My mom is amazing, one of my biggest fans. My prayer partner, the person I go to about pretty much everything. And if I don't talk to her in at least a week, she's calling me saying, "Hey, Chris, do I need to come find you?" And so I want to introduce you guys to my mom. She's the first lady with my dad, who's in Alabama. So we're taking a trip all the way down south to Alabama to introduce you to my mom. You can call her Mama Constance.
Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be with y'all. Yes.
Glad to have you.
Just so glad to be with y'all here. And yes, Chris is awesome. One of my favorite child. I have so much to tell you all about him tonight. So I'm excited.
What? Are you bringing the tea?
Oh, I'm about to end this broadcast.
I hope Calvin, Keisha, and Jada heard that. I'm the middle child, which means I'm the favorite child. I forgot to tell y'all that I'm the middle child. So, yeah.
He always says that he's the favorite, y'all, but all of them, I'm like you, Dr. Nat, all of them are the favorites.
Yep, that's right.
You know, I have to make Chris feel special, though, because
that's how we do it.
Chris is special, so I can see why you would say that. And then I got one more guest, 2 more actually, for us tonight. He is no stranger either. this is my husband, Pastor Caleb Mcclendon. Come on up here, Caleb. And he's not even in rare form. He's being himself. But tell the people who don't know you a little bit about you.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Pastor Caleb. I serve as the assistant pastor here at C3. Leslie is my wife. Dr. Leslie is my wife. And I am one of two children. Obviously, I am the favorite. How about that? I'm the favorite male. I have a younger sister. She's awesome at times. But yeah, and I'm supposed to introduce my mom, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So I want to introduce to you, to the ladies and gentlemen, and to the world, my mother, the best mother. She down south too. We bringing it. It's Mississippi. We got Alabama. We got Mississippi. We got a whole tour going on right now. So my mom, Miss
Virginia
Mcclendon, y'all make some noise for her. There she is.
Hey.
Beautiful.
I am so glad to be a part of C3 tonight, and looking forward to just busting Caleb out.
Oh, I'm here for that. I can't wait to moderate y'all's interviews. Well, this is everybody tonight. Y'all see, we are about to cut up. I have already told everybody that we're going to be ourselves tonight. So if you came on here thinking that we were going to be prim and proper, some of us may be, others of us may not be. So just stay tuned. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm super excited. So we're going to delve right into it. And we are going to go into our first pair of interviews. So Nicole and Dr. Nat, I need y'all on the screen. We got some things to talk about.
All right.
All
right. Y'all ready?
Yep.
I
Okay.
believe so.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to start off with you, Nicole. I think you have a series of rapid fire questions to give to our mother. So hit her with those.
Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what rapid fire is? I just holler out questions that my mom has never heard of before. She's supposed to just rapidly fire off the first answer that comes to her head. You ready?
Oh, Lord.
It's been not bad.
Okay.
What is the most shocking thing that I have ever done?
Oh, I can't say that. That's the first thing that came to mind. No. Oh, well, I will say this one. Okay. When you got your belly button pierced.
That's what I thought you were going to say. I don't know the first one. I'm worried.
Nicole knows the first.
I know exactly what I was going to say.
Thank you. Told me never to say it.
I love you. That's why you're the best.
I love you.
Yeah, well, tell them how I got my belly button pierced, Mom. What I do?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know when she did it, but I'll tell you when she revealed it. She revealed it to her dad and I when we were upstairs in our church preparing to go down for service. So this was 5 minutes before we were supposed to be down in service. We're heading to the elevator and she says, "Oh, Mom and Dad, look what I got." And she lifts up her shirt and does this and says, "Bye," and runs downstairs. So we couldn't talk to her or anything until after service.
And y'all got the nerve to think she's the favorite. She ain't the favorite. She's rebellious.
I'm the challenger. Sometimes you got to know when the spirit is moving and when the time is right. And there's no better time than when in the house of the Lord to divulge certain information.
Ooh.
All right. So, next rapid fire question. Who was the first person that you ever told you were pregnant with me?
Oh, I didn't know I was pregnant with you, but I'll tell you, I really didn't. I had no clue I was pregnant. I thought I had the flu. It was in the summertime. So my dad is the one who told me, "Girl, you're probably pregnant." And I couldn't fathom that at the time. So my dad revealed to me that I was.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the doctor and yeah, he was right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want your first child to be a boy or a girl? I know the answer to this, but
we thought we were going to have a boy.
And what was my name supposed to be?
The name was going to be Nicholas. Yeah. And so Nicole.
Hence Nicole.
Still grateful. So grateful.
Yes, your favorite. So this is the last one. What age did you hate experiencing the most? or what was the most challenging age for you?
For me or for you?
For you. Right. Wait.
For you.
For you, Mom.
For me.
What was the hardest age group to
Your
parent
life.
Nicole? What was the hardest
In my
stage
life.
to parent her through?
Oh, to parent Nicole. I was thinking of
No,
me
I was
personally.
asking just the hardest, experience in your life, but that's fine.
Okay, so parenting Nicole. That would be her middle school years. Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right, well, let's get into the interview. I'm going to start with you. Everybody knows this is Dr. Nat, but this is my mom too, so I'm going to call you Mom. How old were you when you gave birth to your children?
I was 19 when Nicole was born, 24 when you were born, and 26 when Lauren was born. Yes.
I think mine cut off. Maybe y'all didn't. How old with Nicole?
I was 19 with Nicole. Yeah.
Wow.
When she was born. Yeah.
Do you wish that you started earlier or waited later?
I don't think I could have started any earlier. I really don't. I was married a month and a half after I graduated from high school. And then 10 months later, I gave birth to Nicole. So yeah, I couldn't have started any earlier.
What a glorious day.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll
my
tell you
gosh.
this, so I'm grateful for I wouldn't change anything about my journey in terms of when you all were born, because now that I'm at the age that I am and I have grandchildren, I can enjoy them, enjoy my life with my husband, my friends at the age I am now, and I'm pretty grateful for that. I really am. So I would not change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in regards to motherhood, what kind of child was Nicole? Was she like mischievous, good, bad?
No, she
stubborn?
wasn't mischievous. She was stubborn. She was.
Okay.
Yes, she was stubborn. But she was not a bad child at all. I didn't have any bad children. And I don't think that there are quote unquote bad children. There's always bad behavior, but not bad children. So yeah, she was a good child, very smart, very witty, learned to read at 3 years old, she acted like a mini adult. And that was because, as she said in the introduction, she was, she had her mom and dad for 5 years before you were born, Leslie. And so early on, Nicole's trouble, if you will, that she got into was for talking like an adult and interrupting adult conversations as if she were our age, was our age.
I feel like she still does that. I'm gonna be sister for a moment.
Yeah.
She told me, and since we're being real, she told me the other day, she said the closer she gets to 40, the closer she feels like herself. She's always felt like she was an adult.
Right at home. I mean, when I remember in high school and middle school, I felt so out of place. I was like, oh, that's so, I'm not trying to sound like that, but I was like, that's so childish. Or I just always felt like I was 25 and up. When I got to 25 and I could just sit in a jazz club and chill, I was like, oh, this is me.
And see, you got that from me. And because I'll tell you this, when I was in junior high school, Spratley Junior High, it's middle school now. It's a gifted school actually now. But when I was there, I would dress in suits, and when I would go through the cafeteria line, many times I was wearing heels. I started wearing heels at 12 years old. And so when I would go through the cafeteria line, the cafeteria workers would always give me a teacher's lunch. And so I would pay for it and go and sit with the teachers many times. So yeah, and I know that's so abnormal. It is. I can see that. I can see it now. I didn't see it then. It felt so natural. So I understand, Nicole, how you feel.
Well, Nicole, I'm gonna go to you. What was Mom like as a child? What was it like growing up with her? What was she like?
Mom was very strict. She didn't play any games. Okay. I feel like I didn't have the fear of the Lord at an early age. I had the fear of my mother. So my mom she just instilled that fear, that reverence that, when she comes into the room, you better straighten up and get it together. But I always felt love and respected, and I felt respect from her. And I without question gave her respect because it was a home of love and care and concern. And it was just great. I had and I still have a really great mom. So, I mean, I remember her just being strict and not playing games. I remember my friends being able to do what they wanted to do, go where they wanted to go, act how they wanted to act. And if I tried that to express myself, I was not
That's
able
not
to do
okay.
no. She was like, "Oh no, you will
So
not."
in that same line, what's something that mom always said to you growing up? What's something that she said to you that really just sticks with you to this day or stuck with you at that moment?
One thing that, well, Bible verses. She would tell me Bible verses all of the time. Let's see. I was gonna say one thing that's always stuck with me that she's told me is that I can do and I can be anything that I want to. And like my only limit is myself, not other people, not other people's perceptions, but anything that I set my mind to, I can accomplish. And I think she saw that in me from when I was very, very young, because I always had high aspirations. And she would tell me all the time, like, you can do anything. And she's my biggest cheerleader even today. Even when I launched my business last year, my mom bought all my digital products. She bought everything. And she's always cheering me on, telling me I can do everything. When I went back to school, I decided to go back to school now. She's just always patting me on the back, cheering me up. So I think, just that I can do anything, and that I am a virtuous woman. And a virtuous woman is not a typecast woman. It's a woman that literally is full of all virtue, of everything. Like I am not lacking anything. I am complete and whole in myself. And that's something that I distinctly remember my mother instilling in me when I was growing up. And I still have today. So Mom, this conference is because of you. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
I'm trying to get somebody to cry. I need a tear by the time this is over. It won't be from me, but from somebody.
It won't be hard for me to do.
Oh my goodness.
Don't call me puddles anyway. Yeah.
Well, Mom, let's take it back to you. Was there something that your mom did when you were a kid that you swore that you would never do yourself?
Well, I didn't articulate it, of course, as a child, but
right.
I just know now that the generation that my mother came from was called the silent generation for a reason. I mean, they kept things in, didn't talk about whether it was family business, personal business. And one of the things that I vowed to myself before getting married, before even thinking about having children, but I had made this subconscious decision that if I had children, and in particular daughters, that I would tell them about the birds and the bees, so to speak, facts of life, keep the doors of communication open, because in my mother's generation, that just was not done. And I could share some stories. We would have to have a limited, audience for the stories I could share about the fact that I was just so naive when I got married, because there was no conversation about that. So yeah, that was one of the things I vowed that I would not do, that I would, if I had children, I would be open and honest. I'd allow them to ask me anything, even if it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I can say we have a totally open and honest relationship, right, Mom?
We have too open, right?
Uncomfortable conversations.
Very. To this day.
Yeah.
And it started really, really early. Yeah, started.
I think we've all given you very uncomfortable conversations.
Yes, thank you for challenging me in that way.
It's good.
Yeah, it is, because that helps us to grow too. And one of the things I had to come to grips with, because I do realize this, I have some perfectionist tendencies.
Me too. I think I inherited that a little bit.
Yeah, and so I had to really offer that up to God, because I was hard on myself. So I had to give myself grace, and then learn how to give you all grace, and then also learn that I didn't have it all together and never will. Right. So I need to strive for excellence rather than perfection, and then allow myself to be taught even by my children. And so oftentimes, I know from my mother's generation, they didn't think from that perspective. And I'm speaking generally, of course, whatever we say goes, you don't talk unless you're spoken to. I don't have anything to learn from you. You have a whole lot to learn from me, that kind of thing. I want to be in a position, and especially now, even as I get older, to learn from my children continuously, to learn from my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, because that's what broadens my perspective. Yeah. So.
And speaking of her mother, let's channel this mother energy. My mommy is wearing her mother's necklace today.
I am.
Three generations
about her, her necklace and her earrings. Yeah, my mom is in glory now, along with my mother-in-law, two of my most favorite mentors. So I think of them often. In fact, this teacup came from my mother as well. Every time I look around the house, there are things that remind me of both my mother and my mother-in-law every single day. I don't have a day when I don't think about both of them. So you
mother's love can never be replaced.
Cry right now just because of that.
Go ahead, let it out, Mama. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to, but it may just start flowing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll lighten it up a little bit then if you don't want to cry. Nicole, if mom becomes famous, what would it be for?
Let's see. I would say for her queendom, okay? Because my mommy is a queen of all queens. If you didn't know, she's royalty. I mean, when she walks into a room, it doesn't matter. It could be Food Line, where she rarely walks into grocery stores. But if she walks anywhere, like, she just takes the atmosphere up probably 50 notches. So I feel like she would be famous for her aura, for her persona, for the way that she carries herself at all times. I mean, if you come here and see my mom on off day, we used to always joke her because she would just be chilling at home with her feet up in stilettos and full face makeup and a dress with ruffles. And we'd be like, Mom, what are you doing? Are you chilling today? And she's like, oh, yes, I'm chilling. This is how I chill. So I feel like she would be famous for her infectious personality and her queendom.
Wow.
That's good. Wow. Well, Mom, you tell us your most interesting parenting story.
About who in particular?
It doesn't matter, actually. You can do Nicole, or just your most interesting parenting story in general.
Well, the day I realized I was a parent, a mother, was overwhelming for me. And that was when Nicole was born. And she will and forever always be celebrating her birthday on Mother's Day weekend. But when she was born, or even before she was born, and in the process of her being birthed, the doctors gave us so many negative reports. Because of the fact that my amniotic fluid was gone before I even was in the hospital. That's a whole other story. I told the doctor that I thought that was the case, and he didn't believe me until the time that, of course, I went to give birth and there was no amniotic fluid. So because of that, the doctor, my OBGYN got another team of doctors, and they were giving us, you talking about rapid fire questions, or I would say rapid fire results of what they thought was going to be the case. They told us Nicole was going to have brain damage because of the bacteria that she was susceptible to. There were all kinds of negative reports. And you can imagine, as a 19-year-old first-time mother, hearing that and what that did. And I'm so thankful for my own mother and my mother-in-law, because both of them were with me. And the faith foundation that I already had, along with my husband's foundation, because we just made a decision that as the parents of this child who's going to be birthed, that we were going to offer her, we had already offered her to the Lord, but we were going to trust God's report rather than the reports that we were hearing. And so, we made a decision then that, in the process of her being born and even afterwards, because they kept us in the hospital for a while, even after that, because I ended up having to have a C-section because of that. And so we made a decision that we weren't going to even allow people to come into our presence who had weak faith. And we believed God for her total health and healing. They shaved her hair all the way back. You had a beautiful hairline, Nicole, when you were born. And they shaved it all the way back to here because they needed to put needles all around her head. And they ran every test imaginable. And here's the other part that we had to believe God for, because we didn't have any health insurance at that time. So you can imagine, we had all of this thrown at us. But the end of the report is God showed himself faithful. And I had told the doctors, as well as other people that I shared that story then, as a 19-year-old, that the needles that they placed in her head only proved to make her sharper. And she's been sharp as a tack ever since.
Yes.
Really,
A push pin, a needle.
So that was my most challenging and my first parenting story. And the fact
Yeah.
that Mother's Day came, she was born on a Friday at 11:51 p.m. Mother's Day was that Sunday, and I didn't have her because they wouldn't allow me to hold her because she had jaundice on top of everything else that was going on in all the tests. So I was just crying, thanking God for her, but crying because I longed to hold her in my arms.
You can hold me now, Mama.
Yeah, I can.
Oh my
A little
goodness.
more challenging now, but
I spend your life all the time.
Well, Nicole, tell us something that Mom is really good at.
Oh, Mom is really good. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what she's not really good at. Mom,
Yes, you are.
I knew she was going to ask that. I don't care. Most of the world knows.
Well, what is Mom really good at though?
Mom is really good at administration, and she is really good at the English language, and she is really good at mothering. Like, our mom was built to be a mother. She is an educator at her core, and she is just really good at all those things. They kind of all work together: motherhood, the nurturing, the educating, and then the administrating, which means you handle everything for everybody and make sure every detail is in its place. And that's what she thrives at. Like, I mean, you know, she's an administrator, an author, an educator. She does everything. And so she's good at being a superwoman. Except
Superwoman, I found out. Superwoman does
so she's not good at cooking.
She's not good at cooking.
Yeah, that's no secret.
Well,
the first time I tried to fry chicken. We were in a 1-bedroom apartment, and your dad was at work. This was before we were in ministry, but the first time I tried to fry chicken, I caught the kitchen on fire.
And wasn't the chicken a little bloody?
Yeah, it was, but you know, your dad didn't see those pieces.
See, you are not representing from Virginia. I'm ready to go to Alabama and Mississippi where they can fry
now
chicken.
her daughter can cook, I will say.
Oh yes.
We grew up with our Gramsy Poo in the house, and she taught me how to cook everything from homemade rolls to fried chicken to pork chops to meatloaf to ribs to everything. And I cook it like a pro. So I cook for myself now.
And all three of you cook. Yeah, and you have your favorites that you like to cook. And I will say this to my own defense, that one of the reasons why I don't cook as well as my two older sisters do is because I was the one that my mother saw administration gifts in. And so whereas she had them in the kitchen and taught them everything she knew about cooking, she taught them sewing skills, all of that. She didn't do any of that with me. I was the one that was helping her come up with themes for her classroom because she too was an educator, doing things on her bulletin board, doing things for her other teaching friends, you know, down the hallway from her classroom, setting up her classroom every year, every summer before the school year. I was doing all of those things, not knowing that down the road, we would end up founding our own school. And I'd end up administrating that, among other things, and a Bible college and all of that. So I was prepared to do different things. And one of the things your dad and I did early on, and I'm saying this to mothers, wives, all of that, for those of you who are listening, is we had our own Come to Jesus meeting. And what that is we had a discussion early on in our marriage, particularly after Lauren was born, when all three of you were here, because I was still cooking, but hating it. We had a discussion as to what our individual talents and gifts were. And then we decided that we were going to operate in our gifts. And your dad, y'all already know. In fact, all the staff knows that he can cook anything and everything. And when I tasted his food and compared it to mine, I said, oh no. This is sustainable for me to continue in this vein.
Well, I have to ask this, and then we got to get ready to go to our next interview. But you and Nicole can both answer this. But how do you two differ? Like, how are you different from each other? I know Nicole and Mom are the same. So in our family, we have Leslie, Lauren, Leslie, me, and then we had my grandma, Naomi, Natalie, Nicole, and we like to put the N's together and the L's together. So Nicole and Mom are very similar. Like, it's crazy. But tell us the ways in which you are different. This should be fun. All right, just kidding.
I want me to go first.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think we are different in that I have a lot more mouth. I speak my mind, and sometimes it's calculated and sometimes it's not. And so I think I speak my truth more blatantly. My mother, Mom, you speak your truth, but I think you always have couth. And I think that that's something that I aspire to work on consistently.
Oh, I would agree with that, Nicole. And that's because I came out, again, my mother was different. I started speaking my mind more as I got older.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to break some cycles and some patterns that I didn't even know I had. And so I had developed the same thing that my mother had, which was to hold things in early on for a number of years. And then, you know.
Because as I grew up, I remember you being very quiet about certain things.
Yes.
As I grew up, when I got into my 20s, then you began to speak much more.
Oh, yeah. But I learned how to do it with diplomacy.
Yeah. And that's how we differ. Sometimes I'm not as diplomatic.
That's all right.
Growing through it. Okay, yeah. Mom. Well, how do you know that your children love you?
Well, love is a verb. It's an action word. And so to love in that perspective, not as a noun, but as a verb, it means you have to do something. You show it. So you all show love. That's how I know that you love me and your dad and each other. But I will say this, that the two of you also say it. There's not a time that we have a telephone conversation, and we talk to each other all the time. I mean, we have an ongoing text chat, and then we still call each other. And so there's never a conversation that I have with you, Leslie and Nicole, where you don't say I love you. And so now, Lauren, I know she loves me as well, but y'all know your sister, and I know my daughters. Lauren is the kind of person where she really means it by what she does, not by virtue of just what she says. But when she does say it, it's special. Lauren doesn't say I love you often, but she always shows love through acts of kindness and generosity. Yeah.
And Nicole, how do you know that Mom loves you?
I know Mommy loves me because she said to love is a verb, but I also think that, and I know she does as well, that love is a choice. And I know that she loves me because she chooses me every single day. It's not her daughter. And when I turned 18 or whatever age, or even when I got married, she wasn't like, okay, see your daughter. I feel like that I'm an active choice that she makes every day to love, to be concerned about, to care for, and that she's got my back no matter what. So I feel like that's how I know she loves me, because I actively see her choosing to love me each and every day, even in the midst of hard conversations.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that did make a tear well up in my eye.
All right, Puddles.
I want you to answer that too, Leslie.
Oh,
I am the host.
You are.
Take them off the screen, please.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, mine will be quick.
Okay.
I know that my mom loves me because when I graduated from Oral Roberts in 2010, she got an engagement to go speak out of the country, and they offered her a 5-figure contract, and she denied it so that she could be at my graduation. And I told her she should have taken it and just split it with me. But I knew that she loved me when she gave up a hefty sum just to come speak for a couple hours, just to come to my graduation.
Oh, thank you, ladies.
Love you, Mom.
Love y'all too.
We'll see you in the next several minutes. All right, Nicole, peace. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that segment and that you learned some things that you did not know about Dr. Natalie and Nicole, and maybe even myself. But we're here in Virginia. We're going to keep going further. I think that is it farther south. And we're about to go to Alabama, and I'm excited about this. Let's bring up my brother Chris and Mama Cox Speaks.
Hello, everybody.
Do y'all see Mama over here in this queen chair? I mean, this conversation is about to be wild. I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
But Chris, you got a couple questions that you want to ask your mother. So let's start off with your rapid fire questions.
Okay, so these are the random questions that you don't already have. All right. So, question number one: what is the funniest thing I said or did as a kid?
Wow. One of the funniest things that Chris did was it was Easter Sunday, and he got up to say his Easter speech at church. And instead of him saying his Easter speech, he said, "There's donuts in the back for everybody to eat."
Oh, I can't wait to you know that is still a part of his DNA.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
so blessed by that.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question is, what was the most annoying thing I did as a baby?
As a baby, talk back.
Okay.
When you would ask Christopher something, he always had something to say back when he started talking. Um, you can ask them, "Christopher, why did you do that?" He would say, "'Cause I wanted to."
Oh,
Okay.
this interview about to be crazy.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, we got two more. All right. What was the nicest thing I ever said to you?
Oh, Chris, now you always saying nice things to me. He always do. He always tell me how nice I look, and he always tells me that he loves me. So he always
Oh,
saying nice things.
All right. Okay. And then what age was I when it was the most challenging to parent me?
Elementary school. Chris would go to school, to elementary school, and if Chris got on red light, you know they had the red light, yellow light, and green light. Green light means that you was doing good. Red light means that you cut up that day in school. And Chris would get on red light, and he would go to PE and tell the teacher that he left something in the classroom, and he would go back in the classroom and put all the little good kids on red light with him so that they would be they
Chris.
could get in trouble with him.
Yo, I know this side of you. Oh, I'm here for I am here for this interview. All right.
Also, let
Uh-oh.
me
Come
let
on, I'm
me
here.
Uh-oh.
also Chris Chris was always the type that you couldn't, you know how a lot of kids love the game. My son Calvin, he loved playing the video games. Chris didn't love playing the video games. If Chris got in trouble, then I had to tell him he couldn't sing in the choir Sunday morning, because that was what hurt Chris. It wasn't that you could put him on punishment. Anything else you have to do, you had to do something dealing with church or
Aw.
and then when you did that, you know what he would do? He would go get the Bible and he would get a scripture and he would say, "Here, Mom, read this. You see what the Lord
You're a preacher from the beginning.
Yes."
Wow, that is great. Well, let's get into our interview. So Mama Cox, how old were you when you gave birth to Chris?
I was 23 years old.
Y'all some young mamas. Well, what kind of kid was he like? Chris, donuts are in the back, Cox.
Chris was he was he was always like a little character, keeping people laughing. He would be preaching. For one thing he did, he would him and my little niece. He loved he would grab a sock and that would be his microphone, and he would sing with the mic with his sock. He would preach with his sock, and then he'll go lay hands on him, and he'll have my little niece, and he would tell her, say Jesus. And she'll say Jesus, and he'll say Jesus, and she'd say Jesus, and he would push her down like she falling.
Yeah, that's actually
Wow.
my cousin that me and Caleb both share. So that's how when
Yes.
Dr. Leslie earlier said we're kind of like cousins, that's because me and Pastor Caleb, we share the same cousin because her her mom's brother is married to my mom's sister. And
Hmm.
so but yes, that's my cousin Max. We would always play church. And I had an uncle, one of my great uncles. He would just always encourage me and be like, "Preach." He called me a little preacher. And so, as a little kid, yeah, she right. Like I would just always mimic church.
Yes, and he would go to my uncle's house, the uncle that he's talking about. He would go to his house, and he would always tell him, "I see that light. I see a light over here."
So,
So my
Mama Cox,
uncle,
is it safe to say that you've known from a young age with Chris what he would be when he grew up?
yes, it is, because Chris was always, like I said, you couldn't, most kids, you could punish them by taking away the game, or take away, a toy or different things. But he wasn't like that. You always would have to tell him that, Chris, I would tell him, you're just not going to sing Sunday. And that would hurt him more than anything. Or I tell him, Chris, you're gonna sit down this Sunday, and you're not gonna go in the back with the other kids, and that would hurt him so bad when he couldn't do things in church, not games, and not other things that would hurt. You know how other kids are, that things that would affect him, that didn't affect Chris. Only thing that would affect him, if you just tell him he couldn't do something in the church.
Wow. So, Chris, what was it like growing up with your mom? What was she like?
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a real scoop. Uh, so my mom, so she is from Alabama, born and raised, and she's the youngest of I think 13, right?
Yes.
So she's the youngest of 13, and her parents were like Nicole said, her parents were strict. So my mom was raised a certain type of way. She believed in spare the rod, you're gonna spoil the child. So my mom is a very she likes her house clean, because she's just the type of person my mom is. Like our doors to our house are always open. Even now,
Wow.
she's still parenting. Like even though all of us, my brothers and sisters are old and out of the house, she's still parenting. So she still has foster kids now, and people are always just coming to our house, and we always have visitors. Even when I moved away, I'm always bringing people there. So she loves her house to be clean. So as a kid, sometimes you do want to come home and just go straight to bed, or come home and play, or come home and do that. But you got to make sure first that the house is clean, that you did your chores, that you did your homework. If not, by the time my mom get home, there would be times where she would drive up in the driveway, and we and my brothers and sisters, we would hear her coming down the road. And we'll tell everybody, "Mom coming." So we had to run and grab her back. And for some reason, she would know, even if we clean up right before she walks in the house, she would know we just did it because she was walking in. So we would still get in trouble. But
Wow.
but
That
yes,
is crazy.
tight shit. But I appreciate it because it's helped.
So, was there something, Mama Cox, that something your mom did that when you were a kid, you said, when I become a mama, I ain't gonna do this?
Well, my mom wasn't as open as talking about things like we talk about things now. And so I always wanted to be open so that my kids could talk to me about anything. So, and I always told them, hey, I'm here. If you need me, if you need to talk about anything, you can talk to me. And they did. I feel like with all my kids, we have that open relationship.
That's so good. And I think it's so needed and so important. And speaking of being open, as I know that this interview and conversation is, um, what was a difficult moment you encountered while raising Chris?
What was a difficult moment?
Or a challenging part of raising him?
Let me see. I think getting him to act right in school, because one day Chris came, the teacher called me and she said, did you know Chris was reading backwards? And he wouldn't stop until he got to the period. And I told him when he came home that day, I said, do you know you're a genius? And I would always tell him that God had so much for him that he hadn't even tapped into what God had for him. But he was always trying to do different things, TV production, he into computers. He was always doing something. He had really good grades in school. It was just the point of when it came down to the conduct, he kind of had a bad grade right there.
So did you spare the rod, or he was getting in trouble a lot?
Yes, I had to spare the rod with him sometime. And like huh?
Yeah, no, she didn't spare the rod, is what she's trying to say. No, I got plenty of whoopings.
So you didn't believe talking to him and telling him to go into a corner? That didn't work on you?
That didn't work with Chris.
See, I was the kid where you could just look at me and I need you to do nothing. That was enough. Oh, no. You want that kid.
If you send me the timeout, I'm gonna have a good time over there.
Yes. And let me tell you, when something was done in the house, we didn't have to ask no questions with the other three kids. All we had to do was look at Chris and say, Chris, why did you do that?
Oh, see, I believe you. Well, look, let's bring it up a little bit. Chris, I want to ask you the same question that I asked Nicole. If your mother were to become famous, like overnight or something like that, what would it be for?
I would have to say it would be for probably staging houses, like house decorating. Like, so, as y'all can tell, she takes a lot. She puts a lot into making the house look nice. So she could be a really popular, like, what is it called? The
interior designer.
Interior designer, yeah. So she could do that. If not that, she would be famous for her homemade biscuits.
Oh, I'm here for that.
So
I want to go to Alabama.
So yeah, she makes some homemade biscuits, and my brothers and sisters, they're just jealous because they don't get them until I come home. So
you're the most
outside before Big Bobby Cox.
Yeah, so she'll make them when I come home, but that would be what she was famous for.
Yeah,
that is great. Well, what is something you would say that your mom is really good at? Other than biscuits.
I would say cooking. She's really good at cooking. Almost anything she cooks is good, and I've taken people from everywhere home to Alabama, and they all say the same. They enjoy my mom's cooking. She was a good Southern cooker.
She fried chicken.
Yes, she can fry the chicken, but I will say it was almost, when I was listening to Dr. Natalie in the last segment, it's almost like a reverse on what I know Dr. Natalie to be very good at as well, which is music and singing. And she's a musician. Like my mom, everybody else can sing or play or something a little bit, but my mom cannot sing. But she's been in the choir my whole life. But she can't sing.
They ain't have auditions. I know you wish you were by him so you could just mush his face. So I wish you were by him too, because that would have.
She's been in the choir all her life, but
that is not my gift. We have to stay in our gifts.
Well, what would you say that Chris is good at?
Chris is good at computers. He's good at speaking. And
can Chris cook?
I could cook a little. I could cook too, but you see, when I come home, my mom tried to make me cook. But it's like when I'm home, I want her cooking because, like, even though I can cook, I can't cook as good as her. But she see me cooking when I'm here in Virginia, and she like, okay, you cook for everybody else. I want you to cook when you come home.
And when I come to Virginia, I have to do the cooking. Or we go
Really?
out because Chris does not cook. So
Well, Chris is rude because if you come to Virginia and you've done the cooking, he ain't invite us over. So, but at any rate, Chris threw you under the bus with like the singing and the choir and stuff. What's something you say that Chris isn't that good at while we talking?
um
That's gonna be a hard one.
yes,
Oh,
it is. It's a hard one for me. See, I would have to say the cooking part because I haven't got a chance to enjoy the cooking part with him.
Mm.
see, so Chris, you are not a good cook until she can taste what it is
That's
that
right.
you make. So that's what Chris is not good at cooking.
Right.
Well, we asked this, and I'm gonna ask you this, Chris. What makes you proud of your mother?
Oh man, what makes me proud is just to see like the strength that my mom has. Um, no, I was pretty young when my mom lost both of her parents, and I think it was in the same year. And my mom is the baby of her siblings, but she's like one of the like foundations of that whole crew. And I think they'll all say the same. Um, Watching my mom, how she nurtures family. She loves family. She talks to her brothers and sisters every day, all day. She talks to them every day, all day, and she's like a rock to them. She's like a mentor to them. She's like their personal pastor, and I get to kind of watch her do that and watch her really just be there for them. I know when sometimes she feel like she may just want to, not have all that pressure or not have all that responsibility. But that's something that I'm really proud to see my mom do is just be that rock for the family.
That is beautiful. And then in asking you both this question, um, to you first, Mama Cox, how do you know that Chris loves you?
Chris, Chris always shows love towards me. Um, that question, I don't have a doubt in my mind because he's always checking on me. He's always showing me love. Even there's times, sometimes when parents go through things, just like he said, I've lost loved ones and stuff, and he's there. He's there to to talk to me and help encourage me and pick me back up. Um, so I don't have a doubt to know that he loves me. I know that he loves me because of the things that he do, the way he shows me, what he says to me when he um I can truly say I think that all all my kids are just special to me. And
Mm,
that love is it's just amazing.
yes.
That's
Now tell Dad we can hear him in the background.
John,
candid as all get out. I know she over here being all heartfelt and stuff like
Right.
that.
I'm
All
sorry.
right. Well, Chris, how do you know that your mom loves you?
Man, because of the sacrifices that I see them take for us all the time. They've always put us as kids first. They were young when they had us. I think my parents, just like your parents, got married very fairly young. My mom and dad was young. They were right out of high school and into the military. So even my first brother was born in Germany, and so I know that had to
Wow.
been like a challenge in itself to go from Alabama all your life to Germany to then all these other states and places. But they've always given us the best version of life that possible. Like we've never spent years without going on vacation, seeing the world around us, giving us experiences, letting us see different things and see different perspectives in life. And it's really shaped the way that I am right now. Like the way that I have a appetite for more comes from just my mom taking me on trips and taking me places and showing me things and just showing us that deep love to give us a chance at, you know, becoming something great. So that's how I know.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, thank you, Cox family,
Yeah.
for showing us some Southern love tonight. And we're gonna go visit our cousins. Well, your cousins, my in-laws. I'm excited. Come on up, Caleb. This is my husband. It's my other family, y'all, and my mother in love. I'm so glad that we have a good relationship. I'm grateful for that. I've heard
We
so
do have
many
a good
horror
relationship.
stories. I was talking about me and mom, first of all.
Yes. Y'all too.
But we have a great relationship, and definitely thankful for the family that I married into, and I can't wait to see how this interview is going to go. I already know that I probably don't even have to really like ask the questions because Caleb is about to be a mess. And Caleb, you also look like you're sitting on a toilet.
No, I'm in a. Oh. There's no toilet behind me. If you hear a flush, just mind your business.
But welcome to you and Mama Mcclendon. Will you start us off? Give us some rapid fire questions. I'm interested to see these questions and answers that y'all have.
Mama,
Yes,
rapid fire questions. You ready?
yes.
Okay. Let me find them. Okay. What would you have named me if I was born a girl?
Let's see, because we really thought you was gonna be a girl, so I was gonna name you a Tiara.
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 Terrible name. All right. Not just playing. If you're a Tiara, I love that name. All right. Been a terrible name.
You are the worst.
The worst. Next question, Mama. I'm not asking this question.
I'm gonna ask it then.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna ask it.
Okay.
All right. Mom.
Yes.
Les wrote these questions, first of all, for those of y'all watching. And I don't approve of this, but she asked it, so I'm gonna ask it.
Okay.
How did you choose my middle name?
What is his middle name?
First of all, I'm gonna censor this out. I'm over to edit the video. I'm gonna go beep the whole time. Go ahead.
I really don't know. I don't have a middle name, so I really wasn't going to give you a middle name. But I don't know. I think your mother-in-law, your grandma, really wanted you to have a part of your dad's name.
This is.
So I think my mother-in-law really wanted you to have a part of your dad's name. So we did Larnard, and plus your daddy was a fan of Lonell Harris, the guy that sings.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Okay, we can do." He chose Lonell, so Caleb Larnard.
Yep.
Larnard. So that was kind of how we kind of came up with Larnard. So it was kind of like a part of your dad, and plus Lonell Harris, the singer.
I just tell people the L is for legendary. All right, next question. Did you ever lose me in the supermarket or the store?
No, I really didn't lose you in the supermarket, but I felt like somebody tried to kidnap you.
Oh yeah. Tell that story about somebody tried to.
So I don't know. I think I was in a mall shopping with you, and a lady asked me if she can, like watch you while I shop. She wanted to like get you out the stroller and walk around. She was like, "You can just shop, and I'll see it in for me." And it was kind of strange because that was like in the 90s, and I'm like, "No, I'm good." But I feel like she was trying to kidnap you, Caleb, because you was just so cute, and
Did he look like Jackson?
Yes, like Jackson. So Caleb, Leslie, be careful because somebody somebody could try to take it.
Did you let her borrow me, Mama?
No, I probably should have.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Next question.
But I did. I shop with you.
Okay. I almost was kidnapped, everybody. But I did. God blocked it. He wouldn't let it be so. What age did you hate experiencing the most? Or what was the most challenging age for me, I guess, when I was a child? What age was I most difficult? Is that the question?
Probably, probably like around the age of Jackson is now, like the 2 and the 3-year-old, that stuff.
That makes so much
Kayla
sense.
was like real bratty and into everything, and you know, everybody just
Was
thought
he
I was gonna.
busy?
He was very, very busy. I had Caleb at 23, and everybody just thought that I was gonna be missing because Caleb was just gonna tie me up, and they weren't gonna be able to find me because that's how busy he was.
Really? So let's go into the interview. So what was it like raising Caleb? What kind of kid was he? Did he start off like very mischievous and busy, and then he grew to be like a good kid? If you think he was a good kid when he got older, what was he like?
He started out very busy, into everything, and just
Did he bring you like bugs and stuff? I mean,
right,
what was he?
bugs. I mean, whatever. If he go outside, he collects everything that was dead, or he just put it in his pocket and just brought it in. And at bedtime, it's time to take a bath. Caleb was pulling out all the stuff that he done collected and picked up and put in his
That
pocket.
is nasty.
So, he's like, these are my friends. They all dead.
So he'd be at bath time, he'd be pulling out worms and beetles and
everything he done picked up from just walking through the apartment complex. He just finds stuff and pick it up.
They were my friends.
It's,
That's funny.
So
I hope
that
that
was
part.
Caleb.
Oh my
But
God.
he was very good. Caleb was bratty when he was little, but when he got to school age, he was Caleb was good. Caleb was a good child. He was good. I mean,
my sister, on the other hand.
Yeah, now Keelan.
That's another interview. Don't worry about her mama. This ain't her interview. Don't even worry about it.
You were good. Caleb was good. He was good.
Oh my gosh. Well, Caleb, your mom says that you were good. What was your mom like while you were growing up?
Woo! Raising my mom when I was growing up was little. Not just playing. My mom was. My mom was cool. She was a cool mom. I feel like she was. I think she was more so strict too. And you don't realize how strict they were until you have a sibling and you realize, like, wait, you ain't let me do this. You know what I'm saying? So you now you got something to compare it to. And it's like, hold on, wait, yeah, y'all kind of strict on me, but I didn't necessarily feel smothered, if you will. I think there's a certain level, certain parents can be strict, and then certain parents can be almost kind of smothering, if you would, with strictness. So it wasn't that. It was like, oh, dang, can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? So, so if I went with somebody, they wanted to know who it was. I'm going with John. Is it John with the truck or John with, they had to, or so-and-so John, so they knew everybody that I hung out with, from even the people in the neighborhood. If I went to somebody's house, they knew the parents or whatnot.
Were you allowed to have sleepovers?
I didn't know. I don't know if I was not allowed or just I didn't have. I guess I wasn't allowed because I didn't have no sleepover. other than my I had one friend at the time, best friend at the time, remember Gerard. Mm-hmm. So we had sleepover. So it wasn't like my house definitely was not the sleepover house, you know what I'm saying? So maybe one cousins may have slept over, but that was cool.
So Mama Mcclendon, as Caleb was growing up, did you see like any gifts and talents in him? Did you think that you knew when he was younger that what he would be when he grew up, or like what were some of the giftings you saw in him at a young age?
I know that growing up that he was interested in music. I know he liked the music. Caleb did a lot of like beats and all that stuff around the house. He was in the band. He joined the band when he was like 6th grade. So he went through the whole band thing. He did drums in middle school, drums in high school. He went from that to cymbals, and he was very into music and stuff. But even in school and doing music, Caleb was very into the Bible. He was really into his word. A lot of his classmates and all of them used to get together before school. I remember doing junior high. I think it was in junior high
or high school, they would always do a devotional thing before they go to school in the morning. So they would all like call each other, and they would have like scriptures and stuff that they would read before school, and prayer time before school. So they did that for like through junior high and high school.
Wow.
So I knew that he was really going to be.
I just play it.
He was in the word, so I really knew he was going to, follow his heart, whatever God was going to lead him to be.
Oh, I have to ask you this. How did you feel when Caleb followed his heart to come to Virginia? Did you feel some kind of way, honestly, or you were like, you didn't mind?
No, I was good. I was really good. I know when he packed up that little car, he was like, "Mom, I'm going for the summer for intern." And I said, when he was packing that car, he was packing so much stuff for intern. I was like, I told my husband, I said, "This is not an intern. This is like gone."
I don't think people know that story.
I honestly thought that it really was going to be for the summer. Like in my little mind, I did not think that this was going to be home until like maybe 2/3 of the way through the summer. Right. Then it kind of hit me. But I guess parents see stuff before you see it.
Because he started calling me last night. He was like, "Okay, it's getting cold. Can you send my winter stuff?"
Oh yeah, it's true.
Leslie
froze on us.
I'm like, I thought it was a turn. This is your state.
Right. Leslie just froze on. I'm gonna tell her to log off and come back on. I really didn't think. Okay, she's coming back up. Oh, go ahead, Leslie.
Oh no, my internet had cut out.
Yeah, I really didn't think I was going. And so my mom was saying she knew, like she was like, I thought you was an intern. I was saying, can you mail me my coat and stuff like that? She was like, this is supposed to be a summer thing, but yeah, I really didn't. So the story is, for those of y'all don't know, I'm gonna make it really brief. I was supposed to come down here. The deal was I was going to intern here at C3 for the summer and then just go back home. But I didn't. Like they said, Bishop cooks really good food, and 80 pounds later, here I am.
Oh gosh.
Stuffed in a room that looks like a toilet. So
what's wrong with you? This is what I deal with all the time. You know what? That's why I call Mama Mcclendon every now and then, and I'm like, was this how it was you being with Caleb? And you're like, Caleb has always been like that. He's gonna get on your nerves. So sometimes we have little venting moments. It's great. So let's ask this question. Caleb, or Mama, you can answer this. What was the most trouble you've ever gotten into?
Caleb trouble?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What trouble would you say the most trouble I gotten into?
You really didn't get in a lot of trouble.
I was locked down. Couldn't go nowhere to get in no trouble.
I think at one time you got in trouble when you let me see. The day I think when I think it was your senior year in school, and you had missed a test or something, and you were supposed to stay at the school, and you left. You didn't stay to take the test or something. And your teacher called me, and she was like, Caleb didn't. I think it was like, I don't know if he was trying to skip school. I think that's what you was doing. It was like a skip day, and you were supposed to be taking your test. And I had to like get you for that.
I don't even remember that, but
I know you don't remember that.
Thank you for getting me, I guess.
Oh so my God.
I'm really trying to think. I really was a pretty chill guy. I was always more so a homebody. I still am a homebody.
True.
Yeah.
If I hang out, I only hang out with. I don't like the. I'm not a. I have a. I'm very vibrant. Once I know how to be extroverted, if that makes sense, and I'm very good at it to be extroverted. But I'm not naturally an extrovert. I'm naturally an introvert. And even hanging out is just like I have a small group of people. I could do that. Even, because hey, I'll hang out with Eric. I mean, you always knew where I was. I mean, and if you didn't know where I was, you knew, you make 2-3 phone calls and you can always find me. Right. So I'm trying to think, what trouble was I ever in?
I mean, if you're in trouble, just say that. It's okay. You're a little good kid.
He really did do any trouble, Les. He was good.
Okay. Well, I've been asking everybody else this question, so I got to ask you too. Was there something that your mom did when you were a kid that you swore that you would never do yourself when you became a parent?
I don't know. I guess I thought about let me see. The discipline part, like my mom believed in spare the rod, spoil the child too, So we got a lot of switches and all that stuff in our family because my mom had 18 children, but half of them was gone, when I grew up. So, we got a lot of whoopings and stuff. And I said that I wouldn't do that. But at this day and time, you really need to right about now. But to say what I wouldn't do, I don't know. Then it still goes back. I was born in the country. We did a lot of my dad did a lot of farming and stuff when we was growing up. So there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like. So I said, well, I know when I get my own family, we going to the grocery store. We're going to the farmer's market. We getting us some food that's already been picked and all that stuff. We're not doing it. So I definitely don't want to do farming stuff, like gardening stuff. So I just knew my children that I was not going to be gardening.
And you came from a family. So I heard Chris say that his mom had was it 13?
13
siblings. Yeah. And how many did you have?
I'm the 18th child in my family. My mom had 10 girls, 8 boys. So it's 13 living now.
How many of y'all living now?
Wow.
13. I have all 10 sisters are living, and I have 3 brothers that are still living.
Well, you, God bless you in that line of your family, but y'all can keep that in the country, the 13 to 18 and up.
Yeah, that's why I have 2.
So that's what you said you do differently. You said my mama had 18, I'm gonna do 2, and I'm gonna be good.
Right.
All right, well, Caleb, if your mom was to become famous for something, what would it be?
A comedian.
Really?
But not only because it's funny that she thinks she's funny. And that's the funny part.
Okay.
So that will be, how you have a person who just, it's not the joke they told wasn't funny. It's just that they thought it was so funny that made it funny. So you just laugh. So it serves the same purpose.
It was funny to me.
And that's why it's so funny. Because how it blessed you. Sometimes I think people will find joy at how your jokes bless you exclusively. I think but my mom is good. Like my mom has been working retail for a minute as well, and I think she does have she has an eye and with clientele and customers. So she's always been for years, dressing and styling, people and stuff like that. So I think she has an eye for that as well. I think, even when I was in, high school, my mom, I think I wore nothing but, Ralph Lauren nothing but. And in high school, and it got to the point I was even nominated for best dress and stuff like that in high school. So
send him some more, Mama. He needs some more shirts.
I know. I'll text you my size, Mama.
No, it's right.
I can't disclose that on this camera.
It's all about Jackson.
Right. That's right. Yeah. So I think my mom will be good at that.
Cool. Well, how are you and your mom different? So I know a running joke that me and your mom have. I think we say stuff like, "Oh no, that's the Sanders side. And Mcclendon's, you got something else in your hand. I don't have nothing to do with that." So tell me how you and your mom are different.
Wow. How are we different? Mom, do you want to answer that question? Or do you want me to answer?
You can answer because I think we're about the same. I don't think we're different.
I think we are, even answering this, I think it may answer, maybe another question. I think, I think we really are alike in many ways. You know what I'm saying? We are, especially if we know you, we can definitely be more so honest. We are, I'm trying to think different. What would we say different, Mama?
I don't know, because you always been, my little right hand.
The right hand. I honestly don't know. I don't even know how would you. I eat more than my mama. That's definitely.
That's true. That's true. Funny story. Funny story. And we'll move on. When Caleb and I first started going to Mississippi, so when Caleb came down, he was like a toothpick soaking wet. I mean, he's like $1.40, whatever. And so he came down to Virginia and found several other sticks or whatnot. And so the first time we went back to Mississippi, I was laughing so hard because we'd be eating. And as soon as we finished eating, Caleb and I would be like, we hungry, let's go get a snack. And they'd be like, y'all eating again?
You're right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We felt judged, Mom.
I know.
We just ate. Like she and Keelan be like, we're gonna split this. Me and Caleb be like,
you get one, I get one, and then we can split another entree. Separate.
Right.
I learned that from Nicole. Me and Nicole taught me that.
All right. Well, Caleb, tell me something that makes you proud of your mom.
Oh man, my mom is a warrior, man. She's a fighter. She's strong. I'm proud that she does not shrink, in the face of adversity. And I mean, she, been through a whole lot, especially this past year, and you have, fought, and I, extremely proud of my mom. She, and she went through, her circumstances, like, I mean, literally like a champ with optimistic, and I mean, obviously we have our moments where, where it's like, man, this sucks, what I'm going through. And to have that, to feel it, and after feeling it and after having that moment, saying, all right, now let's put our war clothes on and let's fight it and let's go through it. And so I'm proud of my mom. She is she is the epitome of strength. So I'm definitely proud of her as relates to that.
Thank you, Caleb.
You're welcome.
No. So how do you know that Caleb loves you?
Why are you doing all this? Just like he just said, Caleb is gonna be Caleb. He calls me all the time. We can laugh about everything, and we can agree to disagree, and so and that's just Caleb. Caleb is gonna be Caleb, and like I said, he's gonna call me every day to find something to talk about. If I have a scarf on my head, he's gonna talk about the scarf. If that's just Caleb, and I know you love me. Don't you love me, Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And Caleb, how do you know that your mom loves you?
That's a good question. I think, honestly, if you would ask me that, I don't know, 4 years ago, obviously I would have said I knew my mom loved me. But I think, and for how everything has been mentioned before, love is a verb, and you show it and all that stuff. But after you actually have a child, it almost puts in perspective love. You know what I'm saying? Even going back to what Chris said. Side note, everything makes so much sense about Chris now after hearing his interview with Mama Cox. It's just everything makes more sense now. Anyway, all right. But going to the perspective as it relates to love, how you can start to see sacrifices that's being made. You sometimes you don't know the sacrifices that are being made, or I shouldn't say you don't appreciate the sacrifices that are being made until you're in that position to make sacrifices as well for your child and stuff like that. And you start to begin to see like, dang, man, that was love. Like, putting off things that you feel that, that you can be doing in the moment and stuff like that. But it's like, but because of my child, I want to be able to, to put them in a better predicament. And even like, Chris said it as well. I think, you guys have, you gave us the best that you guys could afford. And it shows, what I'm saying? And again, and you realize that as a parent. And once I became a parent, once I even got married, I had to even call to apologize for certain things. It's like, man, I didn't realize. I see why you said stop jumping on the bed. Beds are expensive. I see why, you did this, and even the things that I said, I wouldn't do. There are certain things I don't do, but there are certain things that y'all did that make so much sense now. It's like, dang, this is why they did that. This is why, you begin to see things from a different lens when you're placed in that position to have to push out that love for people, even when they, that they don't appreciate it now. But now I want to say I do appreciate it, and I can definitely tell you your love it was top notch. So I know she loved me.
That is so beautiful. Well, shout out to the Mcclendons, and we're gonna bring everybody back on screen. I hope that you all learned something, those of you who are viewing, and that you enjoyed today's or this evening rather, our Mother's Day special. And yeah, I'm excited. I think that we learned a lot of information today. While we're all up here, we'll try to not all talk at once. But was there anything that you all learned in these interviews that you did not know about the other person before?
No, I will say, just like what Caleb said, hearing the different stories about both Caleb, Nicole, and then even the conversation with my mom, it does make sense, like why we are the way we are, how we're wired. Yes. And I just want to say, like, kudos to you all, because you all have raised some people who love God. We're working for God. I think we all came up kind of like in church or so. Mm-hmm. And we're not those kids who resent that. All of you all are in leadership, or, our parents are all in leadership, and we're not those kids that ran away from church or ran away from God, which shows that you made time not only for, the church or stuff like that, but you made time for us as well. And it really, we can see the fruit of it. So I appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. That's a real thing too. Like, I just hear so many stories of, especially for those who grew up in a Christian household, of kids who have left, the church, and they've just heard horror stories, and their parents are hypocrites or they can't stand things. But I think it is a testament to be able to say, for us to be on the screen right now and to say that none of this stuff was manufactured, none of it was fake. We weren't behind stage before this saying, all right, y'all, make sure you put on your best foot forward. We all said, hey, we're going to be authentic. And I think it's safe to say, as Chris said, that we appreciate each and every one of you. And with that being said, I want to ask you all of the kids at first, tell me one thing that you wish for your mother, whether it's something that you would like to do for your mom one day, or give me a wish that you have for your mother, especially on this Mother's Day.
Would you like to lead us, Dr. Leslie, in that?
First of all, y'all, no, I would not. There's a book that says leaders eat last. No, I guess if you're gonna do this, first of all, y'all, this is why it's hard to do a panel with all leaders, because everybody thinks that they're supposed to have the mic at the end of the day. I got the mic, okay? But no, I wish for my mom that she just continues to see the fruit of all that she has planted, and understanding that all of the seeds and things that she's sown and the sacrifices that she made were not in vain. And we always joke, even with her, with her bio, we think that the best part is where she says she has 3 beautiful daughters, Nicole, Leslie, and Lauren. But that we just be able to return back to you just tenfold or more of everything that you have done for us. I know we conspire together all the time as sisters, just the things that we want to be able to do for you because of everything that you have done for us. And so we appreciate every single sacrifice, every single time that you have spent, even being an amazing grandmother. I mean, to be able to nurture and raise us the way that you have, and to be able to impart that into your grandchildren. Like, we know without a shadow of a doubt that Phil and Jackson, you're a huge part of who they are. And so I just want to say that I love you, that I am grateful for all that you've done, for all that you are, for showing up as your full self. And I hope that my life and that the lives of my sisters are just a testament of the great job that you have done as a mother.
Ooh, maybe you should have went last, Leslie.
Don't throw passes on
Golly, I regret it. Instant
You
regret.
did it to yourself.
You
Instant
did it.
regret.
Already know your wife. Come on.
Yeah. Dang.
I would say, let me get mine out before somebody else do mine. I would say that one thing that I wish for my mom is that in some way, and I don't even know, like, it would have to be so huge that I don't know how it would happen, but in some way I wish that something, or even if it's something that happens inside of her, that she would just know without a shadow of a doubt how appreciated she is by so many. Like, there are so many lives that I've watched her touch. And I had this conversation with my mom before where I told her, me and her are kind of like alike in that some way, that we are called to show love and kindness to people who don't even have the capacity to show us how much they appreciate it, because they just don't know how. And those are the kind of people that we're drawn to. And sometimes she gives love and gives kindness to people who just don't know how to appreciate her to the fullness. And I just wish some way, somehow, she could feel that appreciation, even if it's in me buying her a mansion one day. But I just wish she would just, always.
It's gotta be fully furnished too, Chris.
She got all the furniture. She got enough furniture. All right. Listen, let me just bust her out real quick, because she got the furniture. The furniture she got right now is in her bedroom. Okay, so what she had right now is her bed. So she got enough furniture.
I thought it was the dining room. Okay.
No.
I see you, Mama Cox.
I love it.
I love it, Christopher.
It was going last because I'm going last. So you can go next because I got to recover from Leslie.
I'm still recovering. I'm crying for Mama Cox too.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Right.
I tell you.
Honestly, if I can just get my mama a chair like Mama Cox got, I think.
Bye.
That's just the chair she used to get on her laptop. That ain't. No, just play. For me, I share, same sentiments as Chris, and many in the case, where honestly that I would love to, and me and Leslie talks about it literally all the time. How could we, do for our parents? How can we? I would love to be able to retire, my mom properly. Where if she only work if she won't work, what I'm saying, and to be able to have the means, the resources, if she wants to go here, okay, I'll go here. If she wants this, then I get this. What I'm saying, and to be, and just be very comfortable. What I'm saying, and that is something that I would love to do for my mom. What I'm saying, she will never have to worry about nothing. If she don't have to worry about nothing. It's already taken care of. And I think that's what I think, honestly, all children, if they really got them, I think if a parent's done their job, which you all of you have, that is almost internal. It's like, I'm going to, you always say, you always think I can never repay you, but it's like, I'm gonna do my best in trying. What I'm saying? And that's kind of the mindset that I have. Is like, I know none of this will will reimburse you for all the sacrifices and all the things that you had to go through and deal with. But it's like, hey, it even if I'm gonna just keep pouring until I can't pour no more into you, and as much as I can, I definitely will. So that's always been my goal, always been my dream, and so shall it be, and it will definitely happen.
He said he gonna buy you a Lexus SUV. That's what he want to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. You muted, Mama.
What you said, but you know,
He said, I own it. I think that's
I know what you said. I receive it.
That's
the one that swing like a door, not the one that come up. That to give you that one. It's easier that way.
She said, bring it.
Well, I would say that I have several wishes for you, Mom, but one of my overarching wishes is that you would live the fullest, most rewarding, long life. I want to see you turn around on a Smucker's jar on the day. That's what I want to see. So I wish for you is that you live a long, healthy, fulfilled life where all of the seeds that you have sown into not only your children, but into every woman that passed through your Women's Institute, into every child that went to CCA, into every scholar that completed the Bible college, into every congregant who ever came through the C3 course. All the seeds that you have sown will be reaped so bountifully upon your life that you will not even be able to contain the joy and the peace and the purpose that God has within you that's manifested not only in me and my sisters, but in your children's children and your children's children's children, and that you will live to see your great grandchildren. And that in that process, my real wish is that I can build you the most grandiose rancher that
It's gonna be grand.
ever seen. It will be one floor. Well, we got to have a spiral staircase for you. So we're going to have some rooms upstairs, but you just won't go to them unless it's an elevator in the house. But that is really, I mean, that's even on my vision board. Like, I really aspire to buy you a custom built house and build it from the ground up of your dreams so that you and Dad can retire in excellence and be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So that is truly my wish. You all, Mom, you have poured into me and my sister so much. And I don't think there's anything that we could ever do to show you how appreciative we are of you. But like Caleb said, and Chris, we can spend the rest of our days trying, and we intend to do just that. And so even to all the moms, we love you, we appreciate you. And it is clear from today's interview that you have poured your heart, your soul, your everything into your children. And we all work together every day here in major leadership roles. So because of you, you have equipped us to change the world. And so you're not done changing the world, but you're still changing it yourself, but you're changing it through and with us every day as well. So we love y'all.
We do.
Listen, y'all heard it here first. Nicole said she gonna build a house. So me
she did. We talked about
good.
Doing it as a group, but you heard it.
You
she
got
said
it.
she
Right.
was gonna do it. So I had to take on third.
We'll furnish. Me and Leslie will furnish downstairs.
Oh, this sounds okay.
Right. We gotta leave something for Lauren to do. Goodness gracious. Come on
right.
now.
Nicole gonna build it. We gonna split the furnishings.
All right.
But
wow.
we can't end this broadcast without talking to the mama. So Mama Mcclendon and Mama Cox, would you just each leave us with some wisdom? Because there are I don't know how many are watching live right now, but there are going to be hundreds of people that watch this even on the replay. So we greet you, we bless you. But would you just leave us with some wisdom that has helped you or that you think could help another mother that's watching, and maybe she may feel discouraged, or maybe she needs a word of encouragement to keep going, or just something you would say to another mom before we dismiss tonight?
I think she's got a mute.
Mom, I think you're muted. Let me we'll just log off and come back on, and we'll catch you on the yep.
Well, I'll go last. Let me let Mother Cox go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh, now we.
Well,
Yes.
I would just like to say to all the moms out there, always put God first and know that children are a blessing from God. They're a gift from God.
Yeah.
And if you take that gift and you cherish it and you mold it and you shape it when they go off to college. I am so blessed because I have four, and every one of them that went off to college stayed with God. And if you mold that gift and you shape that gift and be the example for them. Don't just say things when you get to church, but live it in your home, live it on your job, live it wherever you go in the grocery stores. And your kids are a product of you. And wherever they go, just know that they will be, when someone see them, that they will see you. Just
Mm.
like we are a product of Christ, we belongs to Christ, and so we should be examples of Christ. If we train our kids the right way, those kids will be an example of us.
That's
So
right.
that even if we don't see each other every day, you may not see that kid every day, but you won't have to lay in your bed and cry every night, or you won't have to wonder what they're doing or where they are, but you'll know that whatever they're doing it unto Christ
Yes.
because you train them right. And I thank God that I can truly say that about my kids, about Chris, being in Hampton, being there with you all. And I thank God for you all there with him. But I thank God that the training that he had in the home that he could take and share in Hampton, Virginia. And this has been such a blessing. And I love it. So next year I'm looking for it again, Leslie.
All right. Y'all heard it.
Yeah. Mama Mcclendon.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I would just like to say that as all the mothers out there, you never give up. Just whatever sacrifice is that you're doing, continue, because you're doing it for your child. You're doing it for them. They lead by examples. So whatever you do, make sure you follow the Lord, and your children will follow you. So just don't give up. Don't give up. Continue to pray, and if you feel like you're falling down on having a hard time, God can see you through. He will make a way to see you through. Whatever situation that you're going through.
Yeah. Well, let me just say I echo the sentiments of both Mother Cox and Mother Mcclendon. And we're just so blessed to be able to have this time and to see the fruit of our labor, I believe, right now. I don't think it's anything we have to wait for, because we're just so proud. I know I can speak for the other mothers as well. We're proud of the young women and young men that you are. And so you are an extension of us, of your parents, and of us as your mothers. So we thank you for representing God and representing us well. And I would say, just to encourage all of the mothers just to remember that you are never too old to learn, and your children are never too young to teach. So we can learn something from our children if we're open and receptive. We're not just the teachers, even though we are the very first representation of God that they will ever see, but just remember to be receptive to our children, because they will teach us as well things that we need to learn from generation to generation. And then the last piece of advice or wisdom that I would share is, in all of our rearing with our children, no matter how old they are, don't forget about loving yourself. Even Jesus said to love your neighbors as you love yourself. So even though that is a primary responsibility to rear our children, in the process, self-care is so very important, because we can't continue to give out if we don't take the time to refuel ourselves.
Well, go ahead and end it, Mother Natalie. Mom won't let
Okay.
me call her that. I tried to make her the church mother, and she rebuked me. Come on,
Hey, I'm a mother to many. I am a mother and a mentor to many. So, but I'm thankful for you, because you're now in the role of senior pastor. So, just grateful that God is leading you and your team, and that you all are doing phenomenal things. When I say I'm proud, as the other mothers are, we really mean it. We really mean it. We're so grateful. for how God is using you all. And so I think we've had a wonderful time together. So let's end up with a word of prayer, if we may.
Yep.
All right. So, God, we thank you for the opportunity to just share from our heart. We thank you for our children, no matter what their ages are, not just those of us on this panel, God, but we thank you for the mothers and fathers and mentors who are watching and who were a part of this conversation at home virtually. And we pray a blessing upon them, God. We thank you that you are with them, that you will never leave them nor forsake them. And so for those who may be feeling a little discouraged because of what they may be experiencing, God, I thank you that you will refuel them, revision them, God, give them another perspective, eyes to see as you would have them to see, not just physically, but spiritually, God, in the lives of their children, but also in their own lives. I thank you, oh God, that you will give them fresh purpose and renew them, God, in mind, body, and spirit. Encourage those who are discouraged. Give peace to those who are lacking in peace. Strengthen those who may be weak. Resource those who are lacking in any area, God. And we thank you that because you are El Shaddai, the God who is more than enough, that you will supply not just our needs, but even the heart's desires of your people. Thank you for this time, and we give it to you in Jesus' name. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Amen. Well, that's all the time that we have for now. I am sure if we were in person, we could have gone for hours. But because we can't do that, we want you to go celebrate, enjoy your mothers,
Yeah.
enjoy your children. And until next time, C3 family and friends, we love y'all. Many blessings. Peace.
Mhm.
Love y'all.